I want to give her the opportunity to say everything that she's had to say about me to me. Get bold. You had all of these things to say. Oh, she's a hoe, she's messing with his friend, she's doing this, she's doing that. Say it.
Doug Christie has always been the kind of guy you never see caught up in drama. Unlike a lot of NBA players, Doug built a reputation as a family-first man. He was known for his loyalty, no cheating rumors, no controversies, just a man who kept his focus on basketball and his loved ones. And if you've followed Doug and Jackie over the years, you know their marriage has always been in the spotlight. They have strict rules, ones that some people think are a little over the top. Jackie travels with Doug everywhere, they renew their vows every year, and they've always presented a united front. To outsiders, it looked like the perfect love story. Their daughter, Shantel, grew up in the middle of all this, watching her parents maintain this tight, almost inseparable bond. For years, she played her role, but as time went on, cracks started to show. Chantel began making decisions that didn't always fit within the Christie family rules, and recently, she did something that crossed the line for Doug. For the first time, Doug Christie finally snapped, and what he just revealed, it's making people look at his perfect family in a whole new way.
I knew that Jackie and her daughter's relationship was strained. I didn't know to the extent or the degree.
Like the damage that she did to me and my sister's relationship, she won't even take accountability for. At this point, it's just like a fake, I have to keep talking to you so you won't go talk about me on Twitter and talk about me on Facebook and
So you
tell
think
your side of the
genuinely
story.
she doesn't care?
Why else would you speak about your daughter like this?
Doug and Jackie Christie have spent decades crafting an image of the perfect couple. From their annual vow renewals to their strict marriage rules, they made it clear that their relationship wasn't like the others in the NBA world. No cheating scandals, no public fights, just pure devotion. And a huge part of that came from Jackie's intense commitment to keeping their marriage airtight. Jackie was known for having firm boundaries when it came to Doug. She was always by his side, traveling with him to games, interviews, and events. She controlled who he interacted with and made sure their marriage stayed free of distractions. While some people admired their love and loyalty, others thought it was excessive, even controlling. But despite the public opinions, Doug and Jackie never wavered. They proudly stood by their unique way of doing things. At the heart of this family dynamic was their daughter, Chantel Christie. From the outside looking in, she seemed to fit perfectly into the Christie brand, always polished, respectful, and supportive of her parents' love story. But what people didn't see was the pressure that came with growing up in a household where everything had to be perfect. For years, Chantel played her role as the ideal Christie daughter. She stayed out of drama, followed the family's values, and never did anything to damage the perfect image her parents worked so hard to maintain. But as she got older, things started shifting. She began making moves in her career that didn't always align with the Christie brand. She explored opportunities outside of her parents' influence, showing that she had her own ambitions beyond being known as Doug and Jackie's daughter. This wasn't an easy transition, especially considering how involved Jackie was in every aspect of their lives. But the biggest sign that things weren't as smooth as they seemed, Chantel started pulling away, especially from her mother. While Jackie had always been the dominant voice in the family, Chantel began carving her own path, distancing herself from the tight grip her mother had on their household. She started speaking out in subtle ways, sharing thoughts and emotions that didn't match the happy, picture-perfect family image. Then the cryptic online messages started appearing. Chantel would post things that hinted at struggles behind the scenes. While she never directly called out her parents, the tone of her posts made people wonder, was she trying to tell us something? Was she struggling under the weight of the Christie family rules? And then the interview happened.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It makes me sick.
She said a lot of things that actually hurt my feelings as a mom.
For years, Chantel Christie played her role as the supportive daughter of Doug and Jackie Christie, never publicly speaking out about what life was like behind the scenes, but then everything changed. Chantel sat down for an interview that sent shockwaves through the Christie family. For the first time, she hinted that growing up in her household wasn't as easy as it seemed. While she didn't outright attack her parents, the things she said made it clear there were deep cracks in the perfect Christie image. She spoke about the strict rules and high expectations that she had to follow as a child. Growing up in a home where her parents' marriage was the center of everything, she always had to fit into their carefully crafted brand. There wasn't much room for mistakes or personal choices. Every decision had to reflect the Christie name in a positive light, which meant Chantel had to move a certain way, whether she liked it or not. But the most shocking part, she suggested that her parents' intense relationship had shaped her own views on love in ways that weren't always healthy. Having a front row seat to her mother's control over their household, she admitted that it impacted the way she saw relationships. She hinted at struggling with the idea of independence versus loyalty, something that was deeply ingrained in her from childhood. Then came the moment that really turned heads. She made comments that seemed to challenge her mother's authority. While she didn't mention Jackie directly, her words made it clear she had spent years under the influence of someone who dictated every part of the family dynamic, and now she was stepping away from that. The internet went wild. Fans immediately picked up on the shade and started sharing their opinions. A person commented saying, "Chantel has been holding this in for years, you can tell. She's finally free to speak her truth and Doug and Jackie can't handle it." Another one added, "Doug losing his cool like this just proves Chantel struck a nerve. What's really going on behind closed doors?" But the biggest question, why weren't Doug and Jackie responding? Doug Christie had always been known as the calm, level-headed one. He rarely spoke out about personal matters, and when drama popped up, he let Jackie handle it. But this time, he lost it. Sources say Doug was furious when he heard Chantel's interview. It wasn't just about what she said, it was the fact that she said it publicly. He felt betrayed that his daughter would expose their family's private struggles for the world to see. He was angry that she questioned their values, especially the loyalty that he and Jackie built their marriage on. And then he dropped a bomb that no one saw coming.
I came here because you brought the friend into the situation. So I just want you to tell me face to face that it was the friend that I was with.
Doug Christie's reaction to Chantel's interview was already intense, but what really shook people was the bombshell he dropped in his frustration. He wasn't just mad about his daughter speaking out, he was holding on to something much deeper, something that had been whispered about for years, and in that heated moment, he let it slip. Now, what exactly did Doug reveal? Was it something about his marriage? His so-called loyalty to Jackie? Or was it something even deeper? Something about his relationship with Chantel that no one saw coming? Sources close to the situation say that Doug blurted out a painful truth that had been kept behind closed doors for years. A truth that, once exposed, changed everything people thought they knew about the Christie family. Some believe it had to do with the pressure Chantel faced growing up, possibly confirming that she wasn't always happy in the environment her parents created. Others think Doug may have hinted at an even bigger family rift, one that had been quietly brewing for years. But here's the kicker. When Doug confronted Chantel, she didn't back down. She didn't apologize. She didn't try to make peace. Instead, she hit him with a reality check so harsh it reportedly left him completely speechless. Chantel allegedly told Doug that she had spent her whole life living under their family's rules, never truly having her own voice, and now she was done playing by their rules. She made it clear she wasn't the same obedient daughter anymore, and she wasn't afraid to speak her truth, no matter how uncomfortable it made her parents. Doug, who had always been the strong, silent type, didn't know how to respond. For the first time, his control over the situation was slipping. And now, the entire Christie family dynamic has been flipped upside down.
You have this castle and this man and this blended family. Go fix it. Go fix dinner. Why are you here?
Now that Doug has finally spoken out, the big question is, what happens next? Is this the start of a permanent rift between Doug and Chantel? Will their relationship ever recover after everything that's been said? And what about Jackie? If there's one thing people know about her, it's that she doesn't like losing control. Now that Doug and Chantel have gone public with their issues, will she step in and try to take back control of the narrative? Or even crazier, is this just the beginning? If Doug let one secret slip in the heat of the moment, what else is hiding beneath the surface? Could there be even more family secrets waiting to come to light? One thing's for sure, this drama is far from over, and you know I'll be keeping my eye on this story. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a single update on the latest celebrity tea.